Greetings, mortals. Sometimes justice moves too slowly. Sometimes it doesn't move at all. And in that silence, something else begins to stir, an urge to correct what the law won't. But when you take justice into your own hands, do you become what you feared? Tonight, we follow two stories. One in a basement rigged for death, one on a street where everyone was watching.
Thanksgiving Day 2012, Little Falls, Minnesota. Most homes on that street were empty. Families out visiting relatives, gathering for turkey, football, and small talk. But Byron David Smith wasn't with family. He was in his basement, waiting. Smith, a retired security engineer, had grown paranoid in the months leading up to that day. He believed his home had been burglarized more than once. Guns and valuables had been taken. He told neighbors he didn't feel safe, so he set a trap. He parked his car down the block to make it look like no one was home. He loaded his rifle, set up a chair at the bottom of the stairs, positioned a recorder, and then he waited. Nick Brady was the first to enter. He broke a window, slipped into the house, and crept down the hallway. He likely didn't know anyone was home. But Byron Smith heard every step. From the dark of the basement, Smith raised his rifle and fired once, then again. Nick fell down the stairs. Smith approached. Then a third shot, the final shot. Smith dragged the body aside, reloaded, and waited again. Minutes later, Hailey Kiefer, Nick's cousin, followed, likely looking for him. She called his name as she entered, and as she stepped onto the basement stairs, Smith shot her too. She tumbled. He shot again. She gasped. And then Smith said, "You're dying. Sorry about that," and fired one more time, under her chin. After both teens were dead, Smith didn't call the police. He left their bodies in his basement for more than 24 hours, then walked into the sheriff's office the next day and calmly reported a problem at his house. When officers listened to the audio recorder he had placed, the case shifted from break-in to something else entirely. Smith could be heard pacing, breathing, whispering to himself, "I feel a little bit safer, not totally safe. I'm still shaking a bit. Cute. I'm sure she thought she was a real pro." And then, "You're dead. Sorry about that." Prosecutors argued that this was not self-defense. It was premeditated. Cold. An ambush, not a defense. The teens were unarmed. The execution-style shots were unnecessary. And the delay in reporting, the chilling audio, sealed it. In 2014, Byron David Smith was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. But to some, especially in gun rights circles, Smith was seen as a man protecting his home. To others, he was something darker, a man who wanted to kill and waited for the excuse to do it. Skidmore, Missouri. Population 437. In the 1970s and early 80s, it wasn't a town. It was a hostage situation. At the center of it all was one man, Ken Rex McElroy. McElroy was a thief, a bully, and a predator. He'd been indicted 21 times but never convicted. Witnesses refused to testify. Jurors were intimidated. One local woman called him the devil with a pickup truck. His crimes were endless: arson, livestock theft, assault with a deadly weapon, statutory rape, and intimidation that left entire families too afraid to speak. Law enforcement knew, but they couldn't or wouldn't stop him. In 1980, McElroy shot a 70-year-old grocer named Bo Bowenkamp in the neck over a minor argument about his underage girlfriend shoplifting candy. The grocer survived. McElroy was arrested, charged with attempted murder, and released on bond. He showed up at the grocery store again, parking outside with a rifle in his lap, sitting, waiting, smiling. The town had had enough. A secret meeting was held at the American Legion Hall. Nearly the entire town showed up. They weren't asking if something needed to be done. They were asking when. On July 10th, 1981, Ken Rex McElroy sat in his pickup truck in downtown Skidmore, parked outside the D&G Tavern. His wife, Trina, was beside him. A crowd formed. Dozens of townspeople gathered, men, women, even children, circling the truck. No shouting, no warnings. Then, from somewhere in the crowd, 2 rifles were raised. McElroy was shot multiple times through the windshield. He slumped forward, dead before he could reach his gun. Trina screamed. No one helped her. She would later say she recognized the shooters, but in Skidmore, no one saw anything. More than 45 people were present. The FBI investigated. No arrests were made, no charges filed. Every single witness said the same thing. I didn't see who fired. To this day, no one has ever named the shooters. Not publicly, not privately, not once. McElroy's grave lies just outside of town. Grass grows over the marker. His name rarely spoken aloud, but in Skidmore, people remember. The silence is not guilt, it's protection. Because they didn't just kill a man that day, they killed a question. Who would be next? And in its place, they left an answer. Not anymore.
A couple of loud gunshots and teen men died. Why? The power of mental domination is something that these men mastered, but at what cost? Have a great evening, mortals. Until next time, this is Luther.